Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cookout. Invitation to the cookout. We got a very big first here today. We got our first guest of the podcast here, Miss Jasmine Hudson.
First guest.
That we gonna jump into as usual. It's your boy, the Alex Mack. We got my boy Dapper Don.
What up, people?
And hey, we got a good one here for you today, man. So if you holding your breath, I'd advise that you don't, man, because we got some good stuff going on. Now, let us focus here on Miss Jasmine Hudson. She is the co-founder of Black Paper Party as well as their chief merchant. Black Paper Party, as you see here in our nice other guest chair, is a seasonal inclusive brand that her team work with. She is not without experience, coming from Walmart, working there for 9 years as a merchant, generating over billions of dollars in sales, driving change there, and taking all of that great intel and knowledge and creativity here at the Black Paper Party. Jasmine, she has a passion for not only storytelling, but community building. That's part of what she does through Black Paper Party, through the designs that you see here, as well as, you know, the products that are obviously culturally relevant. I actually have quite a bit of them up in my home right now as we're getting ready for Christmas, as we talk a little bit about a Black Paper Party pub. Also, we want to talk about some of the things that Black Paper Party has achieved. For those of you who do not know, around this time last year, Black Paper Party was on ABC's Shark Tank, okay? These young ladies were out here representing for the culture, okay? And right now they've done deals with Macy's, they've done deals with Target, they've done deals with Walmart, they've done deals with Dollar General and their African American resource group. So they're doing some things that they're just at the beginning and they're just getting started. So we really want you guys to watch out for them. And not only that, I talked about what she's done at Walmart, Black Paper Party, but she's also part of something that's very near and dear, I feel like, to, NWA. Here is Black-owned NWA that's really done a great job at, helping us understand all the hidden gems that we have in this place. Mm-hmm. As somebody that's not from here, that moved here, almost 8 years ago, it's been a tremendous resource for us. So we just want you guys to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Hudson to the podcast. Thank you.
Also, too, we know this is an extremely busy time for you. I feel like you're always busy, but definitely during this holiday season. So we greatly appreciate you taking time to sit down with us.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, let's take care of business. Hit that like, share, subscribe button, all right, before we get into what's on the grill. And what's on the grill today, one, we're going to get to know more about Jasmine Hudson, who she is, also more about Black Paper Party, as well as Black-owned NWA. Now, all I know is NWA Jazz, okay?
Okay.
So, give the people a little background on where Jazz grew up,
okay,
where she went to school, and how you
take it
got
on back
here.
for us.
Yeah, give us a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. All right, well, hello. Hello. Thank you for inviting me to the cookout. It's good that I got an invitation, so I appreciate y'all. I am, again, Jasmine Hudson. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, so I heard on my little news recap this morning that the Bengals just beat the Cowboys.
Every time you
don't uninvite me. I was just
doing shots.
We going in a different direction.
I didn't even know. Listen.
Look, I was watching the game last night. It's like when we initially blocked the punt, I was like, I'm not even gonna bring it up. I wasn't even gonna mention the game if we won. But okay, I see how we rocking.
It was only because I have my little news recap, and we're never in the news, so I had to bring something up.
Okay.
But yeah,
talk some trash at the cookout.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, what is it? Cincinnati, since my mama had me. Then from there. But what's interesting is that I guess I'm like first generation Cincinnati. So my dad's actually from Detroit, so he's been wearing his Lion stuff. And then my mom is actually from a town called Sylacauga, Alabama. So we have a really interesting mix of just kind of very Southern and then Motor City culture in our family, but nonetheless from Cincinnati. And then once I graduated high school, I went to college at the Tennessee State University, a wonderful HBCU in Nashville. Let me tell you something. Tennessee State University has my heart. I love the fact that I went to an HBCU, specifically Tennessee State. Learned everything that I am now is because of not only my family and friends community, but Tennessee State University. So we were doing competitions, like MBA competitions as undergrads. Of course, part of like the honors program, all of that stuff. So Tennessee State University is part of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund kind of network. So, you know, you have HBCUs that are part of United Negro College Fund, and then you have the Thurgood Marshall schools. So Walmart is a sponsor, or at least was at the time, of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Every year there's the Leadership Institute. At the time it was in New York. So we went there and there was a VIP reception. You know, Walmart did a VIP reception for the top of the top, the creme de la creme, right? And my tell, I wasn't invited. And I was just like, what you mean I'm not invited? Like, I don't understand. Because like the way, and I had an ego. I have an ego now, but back then Jasmine was like, you couldn't, you have to go, you have to go get me. So I wasn't invited. I felt the type of way. One of my friends was invited, and I looked at her and I was just like, we pretty much on the same level, so that's crazy. So I snuck in. And I was just like, you know, I'm gonna just be in here. I'm gonna get a job at Walmart, and I'm gonna show that they should have hired me. So one of the coordinators of the conference was just like, I know who's on the list, and I know you, and you're not supposed to be on this list. You're not supposed to be in this room. And I was just like, you're not gonna make a scene. Like, you're not gonna kick me out. Like, you literally can't just like turn up. Like, he was just like, okay, cool. If you want this job so bad, interview right now. I was just like, born ready. So they took me out. They took the HR manager into the hallway, and they started ripping off, tell me about a time when, blah, 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 blah. Killed the interview, got invited to Bentonville, where they did another round of interviews with all the people from the Thurgood Marshall Leadership Institute, and that's when I started at Walmart. So graduated from TSU. They gave me that cute signing bonus to be at Walmart. Took that, spent it all in Spain. So you know how they do the pre-move trip to get here. So did the pre-move trip. I'm coming here. My dad's with me. We're on the square. You know what used to be in the middle of the square, right? My dad was just like, "You're not moving here. Like, it's not happening." And I actually had to rescind the offer or the acceptance that I had to Target. So I was actually on my way to Target, but Walmart actually offered more money, which is crazy. So my dad was just like, "You're not coming to Bentonville," and I was just like, "The money is gone. That signing bonus, that's gone. We went to Spain. We turned up. We came back, so I have to come to Walmart. I don't got to give it back to them." Wow. So ever since then, been in Northwest Arkansas. That was in 2013.
Oh look, we ain't gonna say ego. We gonna say you have an extreme belief in yourself, which all people should have. Which I love that you snuck in the room. Was like, no, I'm supposed to be here.
I'm definitely supposed to be here.
Y'all made the mistake. Now,
I'm gonna help y'all out.
Yeah, from Cincinnati. How did you get to TSU? Like, is it like?
You know how they have all those signups for the HBCU tours?
Yeah, okay.
So we looked at a few of them, and then my dad saw the price. He was just like, or you can just get in a car and we can just like drive to these HBCUs. So he took myself and my cousin. So I grew up in high school specifically. It was about 12 kids in the house. So we were in like 3 groups. It was like the big kids, the little middle kids, and then the small kids. So he took the big kids, put us all in the car, and we did our own HBCU tour. So we headed to to TSU first. My uncle went to TSU, and then some of my great aunt, she went to TSU as well. So I go there, but I decided I wanted to be undecided major. I don't know what I want to do. I'm not sure. So what we're going to do is just like chill. But they, I guess at TSU, likened undecided with remedial. And I'm just like, I ain't nobody's remedial. So they put us in this big old room, and I'm just like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't like it. I want to leave. So my dad was off somewhere else. I get lost in the building. I end up in the basement of the building, which ironically is the honors program. So I go to the front, because when you go down to the basement, you're actually in the back of the honors program. Go to the front. I run into the director, and she was like, are you lost? I'm like, absolutely. I want out. I hate it here. Not knowing who I'm talking to, right? She was like, well, come talk to me. Like, you got some real strong opinions for you to have just like got to campus. So she's asking, what do you want to do? All of this stuff. And then she sat there and prayed over me, and that I get clarity as to what I want to do, who I am, what I want to be. And then my dad's an elder at our church back in Cincinnati. So when he came down and basically found me getting prayed over, he was just like, oh.
That's where you get this spot. Yeah.
And then I felt that comfort as well. So I was like one ACT score shy of qualifying for the honors program. But she said, tell you what, if you keep your GPA up and all of that stuff, we're just going to go ahead and admit you, and I'm going to take care of you while you're here. And we call her Dr. Mom to this day. Like, there was a time where I didn't have nowhere to stay. I was living with her. Like, it was a whole bunch of stuff. She covered me the whole time I was at TSU, and it really all started with her praying over me.
Okay.
Let me jump in on that as a fellow HBCU grad. Proud Alabama A&M alum. TSU's in my top 5, but A&M gave more of that money, so we made it work that way. In listening to your story, I see a lot of the similarities in terms of how they prepared us graduates for the things that we've done and accomplishments and all. Like, talk to our audience a little bit about like some of the unique things you feel like the HBCU experience is that makes you part of who you are today.
Yeah, so literally being Black is in the fiber of my being and everything that I do today, obviously. But while at TSU, one of the things that they really honed in on was essentially excellence. That's one. But two, the fact that you have to take advantage of being in this environment of the people that look like you doing fantastic things, because once you graduate, you're just going to be a face in a sea of folks that don't look like you. So we were in this space where, I was an RA in the freshman women's dorm, and it was just like being an example to like the young ladies as to what to do, and then also having colleagues that were just so smart. The professors, like so many just Black doctors and like engineers, and like it was just so Black and great. Like it was, I love every minute of it. And then when we would go compete, we're competing. There were times when we were competing against other HBCUs, which again, you're just like, oh, y'all are sharp. You know what I mean? And then we had to step, because you can't be looking crazy, so we look fly and we're smart.
Come on. So you were joking with me before we got on the air. About the dress.
I told my guy I've been doing it for 3 years. I don't know if I've seen the same outfit twice. I like, so some of that is on it. I've always been a person that's been into fashion, but to her point, it was on. It was like being on crack, being at HBCU, because like my wife, she went to, we call it PWI, Predominantly White Institution, for those who don't know. But
like Courtyard Wednesdays,
you have to be dressed. At A&M, it's called the Hill, because there's a hill you got, and I'm seeing ladies in stilettos walking up hills, and as I look back at it now, I'm like, and we was crazy, but the way we stepped in, I think it just, when you leave, that just it's in you. It just exudes the way that you carry yourself.
Is the way you want to be addressed. You know what I mean? So you can't come looking crazy. And then there's a culture at HBCUs where the reason why HBCUs exist, there's a reverence and an honor that we have of the actual campus. Like, if you ask any HBCU grad, like, you don't walk on that grass. Like, you know how you can, like, just cut corners certain places?
Oh, you don't walk on that grass.
Everybody will stop what they're doing and take it upon themselves to let you know that the reason why we're here is because they had to take their desks and their chairs and take them from classroom to classroom. How dare you basically dishonor this essentially sacred ground that we're on of Black excellence. So you have just a crazy honor and reverence for Black culture, for your institution specifically, for other HBCUs. And then there's usually like a leadership course that you take. So at TSU, we had basically an honors leadership course. Every single morning, you sat down, it was an 8 a.m. class, which was crazy. And we had a test on the New York Times from that morning. So you have to wake up, study the New York Times, sit down, and then you have the test.
All before 8.
Yeah, period. And then that class specifically was a business professional attire class. So we had to get dressed. And then, y'all remember K&G fashion?
Yeah.
Yeah. K&G used to sponsor like TSU. So if you didn't have clothes, like they had a closet, which was really cool.
That is.
Yeah. But we used to have to be like dressed, and it was like bank level professional dress, and then we had to be ready with the New York Times. But it's because once we got used to just kind of like this routine, so that when we would go to different competitions, especially if we're competing against PWIs, we're so prepared. It's insane, and we mopping people. Like it's not even it's not even close. Like it's not even close. It's actually it's kind of embarrassing. So those are, and it's just a lot of that allowed me to graduate and feel as though I don't have like imposter syndrome. Like I know I'm supposed to be here. Everything that I've been trained up until now has prepared me to be here. And then there's too many people that are not necessarily like relying on me, but they know what they put into me for me not to just like walk in, everything that I've been trained.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about that. Then. So you got to Walmart. You always said you never felt like you had imposter syndrome. So how was that? Being the new kid on the block and having so much confidence. And sometimes in the corporate world, you gotta wait your turn.
Sure.
How was that?
Listen, again, ego. I'd be like, how dare you? But anyway, so the very first job I had, it was in shared services. It was in global shared services, and actually, the group that I came in with. Funny enough, my boss was a Black man. He was an alpha. And then his colleague was Chandra, a Black woman, which again, it's all because God orders all my stuff. So I'm not tripping. But of course, he was just like, yeah, let me go ahead and give you a quick little like Black situation to like go into, right? Because that's not common at Walmart. And then shared services, big not common. I think they were the only two outside of it was another lady, but it wasn't a whole lot of just like Black managers, right? So, also when I came in, my homeboy Robel, he came out of the same program, Thurgood. My homeboy Jamie, so he was one of the few Hispanic people at TSU. So Jamie Garcia, he came onto the team, and then my homeboy Julian, he was on the team. So it's all of us. And this like basically graduated and made it onto this team, and we're essentially project managers, right? So our job is to go into like the general accounting department, map out what the task is, and like present ways to improve it. Essentially, that's what we're doing, process improvement, folks. Which is interesting because you kind of pseudo have like authority, which is wild to graduate, and then you're talking to someone with a gold badge saying, "I'm going to make your job better," and they're just like. Get away from me. Like, not only do I not like you, I don't like this at all, right? So that was very interesting, but again, I didn't feel any kind of way about it. The only thing is someone told me that shared services is where careers go to die, so you need to get out of there fast. And I was like, that's what's up. Okay. I wanted to go into procurement. So I started networking real hard to get over there because at the time there was a women in merchandising group. So I got real close to them. And then I found out about the merchant role. I actually didn't know much about the merchant role. And I was just like, oh, this where all the hot shots are. This is the hub to the proverbial like spokes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be over in merchandising. So again, ego, I was just like, y'all should give me an exception. You know how you have the 18-month rule, right? Yeah. I was like, y'all gonna give me an exception. They're just like, and we're not.
Go sit back down.
Don't worry about that, because I'm gonna get someone to come get me. So HBCU is gonna teach you how to network.
Okay.
If you don't know how to do nothing else, you know how to connect with somebody.
Yeah.
So when I got real close to the folks in the women in merchandising group, and then a lady, she was just like, basically stay close to me, right? So I started going to what they call like their walkthroughs. And I basically like abandoned my other job. I'm just like, I'm gonna be in merchandising. So I started going to all the meetings, and the DMM was just like, who is she? Why does she keep coming to the meetings? It says this in like the walkthrough. She was like, you don't come to this no more because I don't know you. And then also I want to get to know you, so sit with me, right? So I met with her. And it was Shelly Huff. Do you remember Shelly Huff? Okay, so she was over in apparel. We met. I shared with her that I wanted to be in merchandising, and she was like, okay, cool, meet with these people, report back to me. I met with the folks, got back to her, and she said, sit tight. So she got promoted over into Cook and Dine, and was just like, I have a role, interview for it. And I was just like, well, I'll have to get an exception. She was like, I got your exception, don't worry about that. So I interviewed for the role. And my manager actually didn't know, so I had to go back to him and be like, hey, I did a thing. Don't be that guy, right? just let it. Let it happen.
Here's the thing that I like. Walmart's changed up. Where it used to, if you applied for a job, it would send it to you.
It would tell you.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, the reason why I like that they changed that now is because we all know sometimes some people feel a certain type of way when you're trying to lead them. You know what I'm saying?
They take it personal.
They take it personal. And so like, if you don't get a role, some of them have that, oh, you don't want to be here, so you know what I'm saying? Like, they might stop pouring, but
you're just like, and don't. But okay.
So I'm assuming you got the role.
I got the role.
Okay.
And I got the exception, and then I moved over to Cook and Dine. Now, he may or may not see this. I don't know. No shade, no tea. But it was her decision, right? Yeah. It wasn't the person I ended up reporting into. Decision. So he could have took it or left it. But he saw me, he was just like, so you have absolutely no experience in merchandising, and now you're on my team, and now I have to train you. That's why I'm just like, let's go. So the first like few months were difficult, but I'm just like, oh, I love this. Like, I literally had a passion for merchandising. So learning all of like the retail math and like ins and outs of negotiation and all of that stuff, I'm like, I'll figure it out. I've been figuring stuff out my whole life. So, but I do actually love this, and I want to I love the idea that I can pick an item and it's going to be in any store I want it to be in. Like, that just seems fun. So there were like, I'm not gonna say imposter syndrome is like synonymous with like bad times. They were like very difficult, hard times, but I never felt like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm not cut out for this. I'm just like, I'm supposed to be here. I absolutely love this. It's just, I got to get my skill set up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you have this journey that starts at Walmart, and things are going really well. Like, talk to us about like when you started to conceptualize, hey, this is not forever, right? Because I think a lot of times as we think about the generations, like less and less people are going in and saying, hey, I'm going to go to one company, I'm going to stay 20, 30, 40 years, get that watching birthday cake and get out.
Right.
And so I feel like there's a lot more people that are, using some of what because you built a lot there, you learned a lot, I'm sure, that went into this. Talk 100%. To us a little bit about, as you're starting to think about like, okay, this is good, but I have bigger that's on the way. Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
It's so funny because all of the dots connect in hindsight, because when I was in the thick of it all, I was pissed. So like when after becoming and I was an associate buyer, and that's before they called it merchant. So I was an associate buyer, and they said that I wanted to go straight into a buyer. I was like, I did my thing. Yeah. We launched Pioneer Woman. Like I'm on fire. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I want to go into being a buyer, and they were just like, we're gonna put you in planning. I was like, you will not put me in planning. I was just like, that is a slippery slope. I will get stuck. Please do not put me in planning. Okay. And they were just like, off to planning you go. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So I'm just like, it's okay. You're going to get in there. You're going to learn what you need to learn. This is on purpose. And you'll get an exception. And then you can go somewhere else. No, not this time. So I got into planning, and my buyer, he was just the sweetest guy. But when I say he had no technical ability, he was just one of those just older, you know what I mean, merchants. He was an old school merchant, right? Yeah. So like he would print out all of his commitments and put it on his desk, and like important emails, it was on his desk, right? And if I was building what we call like a line review, which is like your assortment plan, he would make notes on sticky notes and just put it on my desk. He was like, oh, the red rug we was talking about the other day, it was very Devil Boy's product. Like if you just had to know, and I didn't know enough about the category, I just got thrown in right in the middle of line review time, and I just knew how to like pick and choose items. I didn't know how to build a line review at all. So instantly, and I'm too much of a people person. I love making like big decisions. I hate Excel. So I got into the role, immediately hated it. I'm trying my best to get out. So many things have happened. They made me what's called like feature champion, which I'm like, why would you do that? So you have to plan all of like the end caps and all that stuff, which is more Excel. And just not even that, you had to go like, now everybody's your boss, like all the buyers and all the other planners and the DMM and the merch ops lead. So everybody got something for you. And I'm just like, why God? So I'm just like, I want out. So I started applying, and first of all, my boss, the merch ops lead, he was just like, stop applying for roles. Like, I'm not signing off when you're leaving. I was like, okay, cool. I'm applying for roles outside of the company. I was just like, you ain't stopped no show. So I'm going to Dollar Tree. I'm going to Family Dollar. Like I'm leaving because what I'm never is stuck. That's one thing people have got to understand about me. Okay. Where the camera?
Oh, okay.
Looking at
just right real there. Quick.
Yeah, we got. Yeah,
I ain't.
You got it.
Cut camera 2. Camera 1.
Let me find my camera.
I ain't ever stuck. Okay. However, God had bigger plans, so I'm not getting these other roles outside of the business. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just chill. And hindsight makes so much sense because I sat in that role, I think, with increasing responsibility, but they never, they don't give you no more money. So I sat there for about 3 years. But with Black Paper Party, I call upon every single skill that I learned and mastered in that time. So I really just wanted to learn it, but I had to sit there and master it because I didn't know, but I was going to have to run a business to where I had to be a master at it and not just like surface level know it. You know what I mean? So there's that bit. But part of what kind of sparked some of the idea of this is back when I was... when I was an associate buyer, I wanted to do a Black cookie jar. Because there's always the white Santa cookie jar, but I want to do a Black Santa cookie jar. And product development, I mean, she kind of didn't have time for me. She was just like, okay. So she kind of like tried it and it came back orange. And she was like, oh, it's not going to work and we don't have time for this. So we just, okay, whatever. That was fun, Jasmine. Keep going. And I was just like, okay. So they're not listening to me. And I know for a fact my mom loves Black Santa. So that's kind of like something that just sparked off and just stuck in the back of my head. Fast forward, I'm a planner. It's been about 3 years. And I randomly, and this is why, like, just trust the timing of your life because God moves. So another thing is, I don't know if y'all believers, my bad. If y'all not, y'all should try them though. Oh, okay.
We locked in with you.
Just go ahead and try them. So, randomly, it was a lady that was visiting from the Jet.com office from Hoboken. Yeah. She was on the side of the building, couldn't get in because her badge doesn't work down here. So I made conversation with her. I walk her to the front, bring her in. Don't know who she is. Wish her a good day. And come to find out, she's the DMM of Arts and Crafts up in Hoboken. Okay. She was just like, so what do you do? And we talked about what I do. And I was just like, I want out. I'll tell anybody. I was just like, everybody knew I did not want to be a planner. I was just like, just real quick, hello, my name is Jasmine. I don't want to be a planner no more. Just real quick. She was just like, okay, well, we actually have a role that you can interview for. So I interviewed for the role in Arts and Crafts up in Hoboken. Got that. Moved up there. So I moved up there January 2020. COVID hits. Shuts everything down, right? So on top of all of that, the summer hits, and that's George Floyd, that's Breonna Taylor, like that's all of them, and it's kind of Black people are already so we're quarantined, and now we have to deal with police killings on top of quarantine. It's a very somber time. So my best friend Jay, she's an illustrator, animator, a colleague of mine, Madia. She and I worked really closely through what's called the BARG, which is like the Black Affinity Group at Walmart. So we would put on the Martin Luther King Jr. Day events and Black History Month programming, all of that. So we were just kind of thinking through what could we do to bring some joy to the culture. Yeah. So we decided, the holidays are right around the corner. Mm-hmm. We decided to do a print on demand situation where it was Zazzle, upload some designs, see if it works. It went crazy the very first year. So we were just like, okay, so we actually have extremely unique backgrounds to where we don't have to do print on demand. We know how to source. Yeah. You know what I mean? We know how to buy. We know how to sell into retail. Like we know how to do product development. Yeah. So that's really what happened. That's how Black Paper Party essentially got started. Because right in the next year, we started selling on, I believe it was like Target.com, Macy's.com, and then entertaining. Walmart was like the very next year. So we scaled like very, very fast. But it's because, get in position. Yeah.
Just take up. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now, let's talk about, so you had success so fast, but as he alluded to earlier, how was it being on one? You said it took off so fast. Is that when you knew that, like, hey, this could be something, or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were just like, this has legs, and it moves so fast that it required a lot of our time, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I can tell it now because y'all can't do nothing to me. It's been like 3 years. So I would go to work at Walmart. It was Jay. She was in corporate affairs. Me, I was in merchandising. We would go to work all day, and then at night we would work all throughout the night on Black Paper Party, and it got 100% unsustainable. Mm-hmm. And it was to the extent that Madia actually just left her job. She left Walmart a while ago and went to Five Below. So she was living in Philly working for Five Below, and was just like, she just called us one day. She was like, y'all, we can't sustain this. I left my job. We were just like, oh. Okay, cool. But it was because we had Walmart, you know what I mean? Yeah. We actually had to like supply them, and we're just like, we need to, y'all know, item creation, like all of this stuff, right? So she's working through all of that, and then she basically was just like, and y'all need to start getting your affairs in order, because also I'm just like, there's no way I'm like, I can't buy for Walmart and sell to Walmart. Yeah. You're not gonna do that. Yeah. So I was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So we made plans, and I put in my 2 weeks, and then we decided to bounce. But I'm just like, God, like it's gotta work. And again, I was just like, they gotta have a family to where if all of this blows up, I'm going back home. Okay. So I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. Like, and I'm so grateful for them. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, I guess we doing this. Like, we actually don't have no choice, because it's either leave or I'm gonna be brought up to like ethics. Like I gotta go. Yeah. So that's when we were just like, now we have to make this work, because I ain't got no other, you know what I mean, situation. So
back against the wall.
Yeah.
How was it like being on Shark Tank? Like how was that experience?
I love me some Shark Tank.
Listen, just to be real, like, okay, and I don't know how much of your audience is is merchandising or a Walmart world. I'm just assuming. But have y'all ever been through a walkthrough? Like an actual walkthrough?
Well, as you were just ragging on planners, I was a planner for 7
I know. There's people that have a predisposition to be wonderful planners. That was not me.
Was not you. I feel that was not your
one in her
call. The moment they had to teach me what a VLOOKUP was, first of all, I felt bad the moment I figured out how to do it. But I'm just like, I don't want this to be in my DNA. But it is now though. But Shark, and that's why I'm just like, so much of the dots connect as to why I went through everything I went through to get to where I am, because the way we prepare for Shark Tank is the same way you prep for a walkthrough. It's the exact same thing. They ask the exact same questions. They're gonna pick this up and be like, how much does this cost? What is your margin? You know what I mean? How much does it make annually?
This is almost like you guys had a cheat code coming into the show.
Period. If you actually go to the comments on our Shark Tank episode on YouTube, they're just like, oh, they got their numbers down. I'm just like, we had to.
Yeah, you had.
You know what I mean? Because Walmart honestly even takes it a step further in a lot of cases.
That's what they did for you. See what I mean?
But for real, it did.
Yeah, I know. We got to know your numbers. Like, that's my responsibility in a walkthrough when they're asking about financials. Like, hey, I'm supposed to spit out these financials. Now, some merchants know, especially the big items, you know what I'm saying, those key drivers.
But that random thing over there.
Random thing. That's my job to know.
So, and literally.
So it probably felt easy somewhat to you.
So the only thing is, it's a walkthrough, but you got a boom mic in front of you, right? They telling you when to start and stop. So sometimes you got it in your head and you're just... It kind of will freak you out a little bit. And then also just like being able to think on your toes in the midst of rapid fire questions, right? All coming at you. A walkthrough, you got your merch ops guy, you got the EVP, you got the SVP, you got your DMM. You know what I mean? Like we literally been preparing for 4 years to stand on that carpet, right? And then the way we even got there is a whole nother thing, because we did not audition. They called us and said, we want you on Shark Tank. You know what I mean? So we didn't actually, we were just like, do we even have time to do this? Because we're in the middle of trying to get this together. I'm just like, we messed this up. We don't have no money. We may or may not end up actually on the carpet, but this has got to work. So they call us up sometime in the spring of that year, and we still had to submit our pitch video. So we did that, and then they invited us out to California, but something happened to where we couldn't even record, so we had to come back. So what happened? Oh, Madia was pregnant. Okay, so Madia was pregnant, and it was time they wanted us to record for the holiday special, but the time in which they wanted us to record for the holiday special would have been too late. She wouldn't have been able to fly from Philly to Cali. So they were just like, we want you on the show so bad, we're going to move up production into the summer so y'all can record your episode. What do you mean?
Yeah, you gonna moving it for me?
They moved. Shark Tank ABC moved up their recording so that we could be on the show. So I'm just like, we're definitely gonna air. They're not gonna move all of this, because you can actually get there, record, and not air, right? So we went through all of that, and then we just know that we went through a lot of the different episodes. I'm looking like it's on the TV. Went through a lot of the episodes, got our questions together. 9 times out of 10, we already knew most of it because of our backgrounds, and just did the things.
Man,
that's dope.
So yes,
that's awesome. So we got the brand. We talked a little bit about the inception. Talk to us a little bit about where Black Paper Black Paper Party is at right now. Where do you see it being in the future? You feel like this being the preeminent, where do you see it growing? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so essentially where we are now, so we're in about 5 retailers. We're in Walmart, Target, Family Dollar, Dollar General, and Macy's. So, and it's really interesting the way we develop and how we're even able to secure that gamut, because it's really, you don't see many brands that are in Macy's and in Family Dollar. You know what I mean? So we put in a lot of work where we actually develop into 5 to 6 trends every single season.
Okay.
And essentially whoever has the earliest calendar, normally Walmart, they get the first pick. So they pick their trend and then so on and so forth until, you know what I mean, everyone has their stuff. And then we develop into quality, right? So like a Macy's is going to have all the embroidery and the earrings and the embellishments, whereas Family Dollar may just have kind of like the bare bones, but it's a solution for everyone. Yeah. So essentially we want more of that going into the future, but with more holidays, right? So essentially being the everyday brand for birthday celebrations, bridal, baby shower, Valentine's Day. I mean, Juneteenth. We're about to not launch. This will be our second year in Dollar General with a full table of Black History Month. Okay. So, and then Dollar General, that's like 4,000 stores, and the assortment is about like 20 items. Okay. So that's a fun program. And Dollar General, they just got a new head of supplier diversity maybe about 2 years ago.
Oh yeah,
fire,
Antoine.
Yeah. Fire, yes, Antoine Hinton. Yep. Fire, yep. Fire. So he's been a fantastic partner. He's since Dollar General's in Gallatin, Tennessee. Yep. They invite me back to speak to TSU. I was like, oh, y'all got my heart anyway. Yeah. So they've had me back twice to speak like to my alma mater via them, which has been awesome. So. More holidays, one, expanded assortment. So within the retailers that we're in, how do we get into like seasonal Bed Bath, the Cook and Dine, some additional items, so assortment expansion. Yep. And then we're going to do publishing. So we're talking books, and hopefully some animated content, but we're working through that. That's expensive. Yeah. So that piece. And lastly, you know how like Spirit Halloween does little pop-ups? Oh yeah. We're thinking about a pilot, so we have to decide on the city, but doing an actual pop-up. Okay. Just during the holidays. Yeah. So our top markets are like Philly, DC, Chicago, Metro, you know what I mean? Atlanta. Yeah. So we just got to think of where we want it to be, and that'll be next as well.
Now everything you talking about, like, that's a lot of stuff. Like, and we at the cookout, and so we like to, we talking about health. We talking about like, how do you maintain that mental strength, the physical health? Like, how do you maintain? Because you're doing a whole lot. And you
mentioned earlier y'all was burning, like, working for Walmart. And then you was working for
burning
yourself.
both ends of the can.
Yeah. So how do you just stay sharp?
One, you gotta love it. If you hate it, then it's a wrap. So that's one. I absolutely love everything that we do, even though stuff gets very hard and people will play in your face, to your face, which is so crazy. But there's a couple of things. So, one is, it's not necessarily scientific, but managing cortisol levels specifically. So cortisol is your stress hormone, and I be stressed. So magnesium glycinate, consistently working out, and then working out not just for vanity, not to look good, but literally because you have to get the cortisol worked out of your system. Because your body will literally lock up on you, and it'll shut down before you're ready to shut down. So working out to manage cortisol levels, taking your magnesium to manage cortisol levels, water, and just like you gotta meal prep so you can just eat right, because you may, especially like women, will forget to eat the whole day.
My wife, she's a wedding planner.
Go all day.
I helped her with her wedding on Saturday, and we were sitting down at breakfast Sunday, and she was like, what did you think about yesterday? I said, the biggest thing I was most proud of is you ate.
She'll get home and she'll be like,
at the end of the day, she'll be like, I forgot to eat, like, and I'm starving now. And I'll be like, you ate. Like,
yeah. And the way your body regulates itself, if you're starving yourself, the moment you eat, it's just going to hold on to it because now they don't know. And now you can't know.
Because they don't know when next time I'm going to eat.
Exactly. So you're literally turning your body into this fight or flight, high stress, you know what I mean, body, as opposed to something that's just working regularly. So I very intentionally do that. I practice gratitude every morning. I have a gratitude journal. Only because there can be like a string of days where literally everything is going wrong, like absolutely everything. So I'm just like, but I have a bed. You know what I mean? I have a roof. I actually have food. One of the things is because I was traveling abroad earlier this year, I'm like, I have running clean water that I can access whenever I want in a matter of a couple of steps. And you just sit there and you're just like, I'm good. You know what I mean? All this other stuff, what does the Bible say? Hevel. Like, it's not a big, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So keep it all in perspective. So there's that. And then another thing too is it's the analogy of the glass and rubber balls, right? You're always juggling, you're always busy, there's always something, right? But understand what are your glass balls and what are your rubber balls. Something's gonna drop. Just make sure it's the rubber ball that can bounce back up and not the glass ball that's gonna shatter you can't get back to.
That's one for y'all right there. I'm loving that.
I'm gonna have to license that song. But for real, like actually keeping the main thing, and it's not just a matter of like your priorities in terms of work. It's like your health. Like your health is a glass ball. You cannot get it back once it starts really. You know what I mean? You got to work hard at least to get it back if you do. And then like time with your family. Like there's certain things that are just like, well, depending upon who you are and like what's important to you, determine what are your glass and what are your rubber balls. And actually being okay, especially if you're like a high achiever. You want to do everything for everyone, especially if you're a woman. You're mama to a lot of folks, right? So you spread yourself really thin, and you feel as though you should be able to take everything on. Like starting to reconcile with being okay with stuff dropping, and you're just like, you know what, I can't please everybody, and being okay with that, and then also not letting perfect get in the way of done. Like sometimes you just need it done. I actually don't care if the I is dotted. I know it's an I. I got context clues. You know what I mean? Like T's don't necessarily have to be crossed. I just need it done so you can move on. And honestly, the faster you can move, honestly, speed is really everything. I hate all the corporate jargon, but failing fast, is actually really important because a lot of like some person that I consider my competition, everyone else tells me that they're not my competition. I'm just like, you're my competition. The way she got to where she got to is because she moves so fast. And then what's so interesting is that if we went quality for quality, we'd kill her, right? But she's so much bigger than us because she moves so fast.
She can
and she'll figure right. And now she's blocked us out, and then she can figure out the quality piece later. But I got here. You know what I mean? So you just gotta move. That's the biggest thing.
I love that. That's
so now I'll be looking at her. Right? She has to fall out. She has to fall out. You gotta move. It's okay.
Make sure she good.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay. We can let her down. They've seen her. They've seen her. Here, I'm a host.
Now, before we get to wrapping up, we are at the cookout. It's something that we want to do with our guests. It's holiday time. Tell us a little bit about your holiday food traditions. Like, what are some things that during the holidays you got to have? Like you like to make? Like, what's some of your holiday food traditions?
So one of the running jokes, anybody that like really knows me is just, have y'all seen the Medea play where they're like, Kim can't cook?
Yes.
Listen, Kim can't cook. Kim can't cook.
I'm gonna keep it real.
I'm Kim. But I will clean. Like that's like I come from a very, very large family. I don't know how it literally just jumped over me and all my sisters, everybody else got it. But I'm Kim. So, but I'll clean and all that stuff. But one of the things that we always have to have is my mama's red velvet cake. Listen.
Wait a minute,
my God.
About to catch the Holy Spirit up in here.
It's not fair. It's just not fair. It's not right. I was just, it's so good. So she normally has to make several of them because we'll have cousins that'll come over and they'll just sneak out with like half of. You know how folks. Listen, I got a cousin. You know who you are, and
You
don't act crazy. Yeah. So like she will literally like slice it up. Wrap it and just start handing it to her kid and we'll take it to the car. So by the time you look up, the
assembly line.
But she thinks she's slick. I'm just like, but we see you. Yeah. We see you just sneaking literally all the cake.
Yeah.
Just leave a little bit. So there's that.
Okay.
So there's the it's like a 7-up pound cake.
Okay.
I'm a dessert person. And then I mean of course the mac and cheese and mama's greens.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Y'all. Okay. But yeah, like it's the traditional the foods. Like it's our foods.
Yes.
So that like I love me some collard greens and some cornbread with some Louisiana's hot sauce.
Yeah, that's my kind right there.
Listen. And then my mama's red velvet cake second to none.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Also too, I know we mentioned you want everybody to win too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit about Black-owned NWA.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So love Black-owned NWA. Essentially, it was birthed out of my friend Jay and I. We had Jazzy J NWA. Mm-hmm. So it was literally sharing the chronicles of these Black single millennial women trying to make it in Northwest Arkansas because what do we do here? Like, you know what I mean? Why are we here? How do we navigate? Sure. And then people started DMing us like, hey, I'm about to move there. We've been trying to figure out where the Black people at. Y'all the only ones that I'm seeing like on the internet because I'm in, I don't know, Milwaukee, right? And I'm trying to get here. So they're just like, well, where do you get your hair done? Where do you go to, places of worship? Do you have a Black doctor? All of that stuff. And we started getting that so often from the people that are moving here to work for JB Hunt, the supplier community, Walmart, Tyson, that we're just going to create another page. Black-owned NWA, where we share all of those things. So we have a highlight for all the Black barbers in the area, the hairstylists, and then all of the other just like out and in things. We have the doctors, we have the gyms and physical trainers, like all of that stuff. So from that, it grew and it really blew up in 2020 when everybody realized like, oh, we should do business with Black-owned businesses too. Anyway, so now that we've blown up, we're just like, we should do something with this. And that's when the expo was born. So we're just like, get everybody in one place so that like, it's basically just a physical manifestation of the Instagram page. And we've been running, ever since. Actually, we did it before the year before 2020 hit, and it was just 2020 was kind of like a catalyst to make it bigger and bigger. So now we're at the point where we hit capacity in the Fayetteville Town Center. When we first started, we were at the Record in Bentonville. And then we packed out Apollo. We hit capacity at Apollo immediately. So we needed a big space. So now we're in the Fayetteville Town Center. We welcome on average about 2,500 folks every single instance that we have it. So it's been good. About 70 vendors come out. So it's great. And then one of the, a couple of, success stories is just like one of the girls, she has a candle company. Shout out to Candles by Whitney. She was sharing that she can make a month's worth of revenue in the couple of hours that we have the expo. So there's literally like a immediate ROI to the expo. So we're here for that.
Are y'all, by the way, are y'all listening? Because we're gonna share this too on Black-owned NWA. Those who are participating, that fee, you gonna make that up 10 times forward.
For real.
Stop being cheap.
I'm playing. I'm telling you. You
gotta spend money to make money.
Listen. Also too, tell them it happens biannually. February
and August.
And can tell them why you chose those 2 months.
So February is Black History Month. And then August is Black Owned Business Month.
Yes.
So that's why we do it twice a year. And to Dom's point, you make your money back. You really do. Yeah. So that's, I'm going to just,
do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Y'all have a date lined up for this February?
February 22nd. Fayetteville Town Center.
Look, me Me and my guy been talking about grabbing the table.
You should. Y'all should set up a podcast.
So we've been talking about like because we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We've been talking about that.
Okay. Yeah, they have the green room. As soon as you walk in, cut right. Yeah. I'm sure you know.
Yeah. So also too, another segment we like to have is to go plate. Like
okay.
Yeah, like what do you want the audience to leave with today?
So with the changing environment when it comes to DEI, I honestly think it's going to lead to a Black renaissance. Because right now people are just like, oh, this is awful, we're gonna perish. I'm just like, no, the way Black people get so creative during times like this, we're going to lean more into Black-owned businesses. We're going to lean more into Black initiatives, but it'll be us supporting us, which I'm actually very excited about because we won't be able to rely on anybody else. Everyone has already shown their colors, right? Literally, like, for real. So we're going to like the level of like Black Wall Street level renaissance that's going to happen, and it's going to, I think literally people are going to go back to HBCUs. We're going to go back to the stuff that, you know what I mean, feels like home, feels familiar. I'm actually really excited about this time because there's going to be like some short-term things that are going to happen. You may see some Black-owned brands that get dropped from retail. Go to their website. They make more money from their website anyway. The margins are higher, right? Because they don't have to do all the logistics and give all their money to EDI systems and all of that stuff and pay the broker. They're just going straight to you. So we're going to see, I think, a renaissance of generational Black wealth, Black business, Black education, and us actually helping each other as a community, as opposed to having to assimilate and essentially dilute down to feel a part of the greater majority. So if I were to leave you with anything, support Black-owned brands. If you make it Black Paper Party, I'm not going to be mad at you. And then also through like the Black-owned NWA or your, U.S. Black Chambers, support other Black-owned businesses as well. So
where can the people find you at?
So blackpaperparty.com, at Black Paper Party on all socials, TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and then same thing with Black-owned NWA. So Black-owned NWA on Instagram, and it's the Northwest Arkansas Black Business Directory on Facebook. But if you go to blackownednwa.org on your browser, you'll find everything as well.
The Alex Mack, hey, what you trying to sneak out of here? What you want the people to sneak out of here with like their red velvet cake today?
Man, honestly, you know how she's been, talking to us about her faith, and I love it. And sometimes when you get a sermon so good, you don't even say nothing after it. I'm just gonna bow out with that one.
Okay, I like it. Hey, once again, like, share, subscribe. Hey, welcome to. I appreciate you rocking with the cookout today. What you got to say, my boy?
Hey, remember at the cookout, we putting more than food on your plate.